play right, cause they can't miss. All about the game, that's a cold switch. Serving up the truth, call it ruthless. Tune in and get your fix from Blake and Vish Sports.
Let's talk about the defense. So the Niners win a game like that, and I'm reading game stories, and everyone's praising the offense for being clutch and leading long drives, and they definitely played their part. But let's be clear. Just because the quarterback is the most important player on a team doesn't mean that's the first person they should be praising after a win like this, because the defense was freaking terrific. What was your evaluation of this performance?
I agree with you. I feel like there's too much conversation about what the offense did. And look, those two long drives, they were mighty impressive. Take nothing away. They were
clutch.
impressive, and we're going to talk about it very soon. But this defense is what won them the football game, and special teams with Javon Kinlaw making one play that Javon Kinlaw just makes that play. Nobody else is, you can't control that. You can't coach that. It's just Javon Kinlaw going and making a play with the block field goal. But really, with the way the offense started this game, if it wasn't for clutch stops at every area from this defense, it looked like the Niners would have been down 17-0. And the way the offense moved the ball in this game and the way they were able to score, I don't think they would have been able to overcome a 17-0 deficit, especially the way Philadelphia's defensive line came out early.
Say that again real quick. How could it have been 17-0 had Kinlaw not gotten that amazing block, had Lenore not pushed Rieger out of bounds by like a centimeter, and had
Hart not walked down Quez Watkins? It would actually been 20-0 because they kicked a field goal up on top of that.
Right. That's the game right there.
And this defense came to play. To me, this defense, I thought it would be special before the season. Week 1 was a little bit rough in a lot of areas. Week 2 was phenomenal. I have Nick Bosa. He's back to being Nick Bosa. He's what everybody thought he would be. He's a dominant player. Fred Warner is just the best middle linebacker in the NFL. There's nothing more to say on it. He's unbelievable. And then the two safeties. I've been talking about the two safeties ever since we started this show a year ago. And I feel like I've changed a lot of minds on the two safeties, but I also feel like a lot of people still push back heavy.
Hold on, we're gonna tease that one. We're gonna get to the safeties in a minute. We're gonna break out and talk about them. But before we get to the safeties, we're gonna save them because that's the biggest part of the defensive discussion. They were so freaking clutch. But it's just a little teaser. Let's go to the corners first. They stepped up.
Deommodore Lenoir is a player.
Yeah.
Deommodore Lenoir to me reminds me of Emmanuel Mosley. And it's nothing to do with his physical ability. Like here, Emmanuel Mosley is longer. Emmanuel Mosley is faster. But I think it's indicative of what the Niners do get when they get these late-round corners. And it's indicative of how opposite Ahkello Witherspoon was from the other corners that they've coveted. Ahkello Witherspoon's opposite in the sense that his movement skills and his physical talent is off the charts. It's higher than any level of corner maybe we've ever seen I've personally ever seen the 49ers have. I mean, since I started watching 49ers football in 2004, there hasn't been a lot of really, really talented corners outside of maybe Carlos Rogers with the 49ers. You're talking about like top
when you got here.
Yeah. So, I mean, Ahkello Witherspoon, in terms of just movement skills, hips, speed, size, speed, all of that, he was unreal. But Lenoir fits into the Mosley mold.
He wasn't good.
Great tackler.
Great
tackler. Lenoir's a phenomenal tackler. Feisty competitor and has a lot of confidence. Lenoir doesn't get shaken by anything. And that's the same thing with Mosley. We saw Mosley have games where he's been, DeAndre Hopkins picked on him week 1, but every time he comes back, he plays with the same confidence. They play smart. They tackle really well. They play aggressive. They're feisty. And to me, Lenoir is just a keeper. I was a little skeptical, honestly, of the pick because a 5th-round corner with his height, weight, speed, you're not really sure. But his intangible effect on this team, his patience at the line of scrimmage, all these kinds of things, these little things, I think are going to make him have a really long career.
He looks like a solid starter for sure. I thought he really actually got the best of Devontae Smith. Am I wrong?
I thought he did too.
That's really impressive.
I'm not sure how good little things.
Yeah.
I thought there were so many little things he did in terms of, first of all, even the Jalen Reagor out of bounds, he stayed in phase with Jalen Reagor for most of that play. And Jalen Reagor runs 4.4 and Lenoir's a 4.5 guy. And then he was able to use his body and use the sideline really, really well. He's a good player. And to me, he's the standout draft pick. I was talking to somebody a little bit before I hinted to you about this that was telling me, that the one draft pick they feel can contribute this year is Lenoir. The rest of them question marks. And that person who told me that, very, very knowledgeable person about the 49ers, is absolutely right because Lenore is contributing. Yes, it was not Grant. I was
Not me.
telling Grant that I was
It's
told
true.
this by that person. Yeah.
Yeah. So good for Lenore. The one thing I did see, and I mean, look, he wasn't a first round pick. He definitely isn't the perfect cornerback prospect. You saw him give up the 91-yard catch that could have been a 97-yard touchdown if not for Jaquaski Tartan. Then we'd be getting on Lenore right now. I do think his best qualities will get him in trouble sometimes because he's very aggressive. In press man, I mean, he stands there like he's Jalen Ramsey. He's like, what? I love this kid. He's great. He's very confident, but he doesn't have 4.3 speed, and that Watkins kid does.
I actually wouldn't have gotten on him if Quez Watkins scored that touchdown. I feel like it was a bad spot. They blitzed. They tried to get him down. Hurts stood right there. And you want to talk about a hell of a deep ball under pressure? That was a rocket ball. And then Quez Watkins' run is legit 4.3. And Lenore, if you're Lenore, right, you're the guy is throwing from his own end zone. You're blitzing. Obviously, you're not thinking they're going to go straight by you and throw a go, right?
And I think there was a little bit of like a stutter go. I think there was a little bit of a fake, I want to say, from Quez Watkins. Anyway, the only thing I'm looking at with Lenore is he's very confident. They're confident in him. The Eagles definitely were more interested in going after him than Norman for whatever reason. I mean, if you look at Hurts's passing chart, it's a bunch of 4-yard passes and a ton of shots up the right sideline or the Niners' left sideline. And I don't know what they thought they saw, but that's what all they wanted to do. Maybe it suited their personnel better. Maybe Hurts is more comfortable throwing up the right sideline than the left. I don't know.
So I was going to make that observation. To me, that was the big TV takeaway. I'd love to go back and watch this on film, and then I'd love to go back and watch the first game Jalen Hurts played against Atlanta because I think Lenore's their starting left cornerback, right?
Yes.
Yeah. To me, Hurts only threw the ball right. He rolls to his right every time. He doesn't roll to his left. And to me, he only throws the ball right.
It's true. That's a good point. There were some throws to the left, but they were all like 4-yard throws. I think you're absolutely right. There was nothing over the middle.
That's how I saw it on the broadcast. I'd love to go back and actually see it, but I thought, he's not an over the middle throw. I mean, it requires a little bit more anticipation and patience from the pocket, and he doesn't have that at this point in my opinion.
He doesn't. Absolutely not. Now, I thought when Verrett and Mosley were healthy that Verrett was the right corner and Mosley was the left corner, so I don't know exactly where Lenore will end up if Mosley comes back, but it doesn't really matter for now.